What if I told you there is a brain hack so controversial that it has been quietly pushed aside, dismissed, or outright banned from certain performance training circles, and yet it has the power to transform the quietest person in the room into the most intelligent one present? Imagine this as hacking into your brain's hidden server, bypassing all the standard security protocols, and unlocking an unauthorized pathway straight to genius-level thinking. Today, we are venturing into mental territory that is both scientifically backed and socially underestimated, a place where introverts hold an unfair advantage over the so-called gifted elites. So, prepare yourself, because we are about to dive into the shadows of your own mind. Meet Sarah, the classic gifted student. Extroverted, effortlessly charming, and always the first to speak in class. She excelled in quick debates, had a magnetic social presence, and was crowned the star of every group project. Yet, when real pressure hit, during a critical exam that required deep problem-solving, she froze and made elementary mistakes. In the very same room sat Alex, the quiet observer, who rarely raised his hand and was almost invisible in the crowd. Alex, however, scored nearly perfectly, calmly and methodically dismantling the exam questions without any visible stress. This is the tension. Being labeled gifted does not guarantee actual brilliance when faced with high-stress, high-focus situations. Extroversion may thrive in social dynamics, but it can also lead to overstimulation and shallow processing when the brain needs sustained depth. Studies on personality and cognition have revealed that introverts often engage in deeper neural processing and longer concentration spans, enabling them to reach insights that are overlooked in the fast-paced, surface-level style of more outward personalities. It is not always about breadth of thought. Sometimes, it is about depth. Here is where the controversy begins. Modern culture worships constant motion, endless productivity hacks, perpetual connectivity, and the unspoken rule that doing nothing is the ultimate sin. Yet science quietly reveals a rebel truth. Intentional boredom, minimal stimulation, and mental idling are some of the most potent triggers for creative and intelligent thought. Think of your brain as a high-performance machine. When it is overloaded with non-stop input, it clogs, overheats, and starts producing lower-quality output. But when you deliberately pull it into low-power mode, almost like switching a phone to airplane mode, it can stealthily reboot, clean up unused mental files, and form entirely new neural connections. Neuroscientists have linked this state to activation of the brain's default mode network, a set of regions that light up when you are not actively focused on a task. It is during these idle moments that your mind begins to piece together unrelated ideas, solve complex problems, and generate the kind of insights that appear out of nowhere, the ones that make you suddenly say, "Wait, that is brilliant." Here comes the twist. The real banned element is not something illegal, dangerous, or hidden away in a government vault. It is far more mundane and yet far more threatening to modern culture. It is the act of embracing silence and stillness. In today's hyper-connected, endlessly performing society, silence is not considered attractive. Being quiet is often mistaken for being unproductive, awkward, or even weak. In a networked world, where every second is expected to be filled with noise, notifications, and updates, stillness becomes almost rebellious. This is where the psychological punch lands: sensory deprivation or controlled solitude. These are not glamorous in the eyes of productivity gurus who thrive on coffee-fueled momentum and constant grind culture. Yet, this quiet time is precisely the kind of environment the brain needs to enter its most creative and analytical states. Think of it as the anti-coffee of cognitive enhancement. Everyone chases the buzz of stimulation, but very few are willing to seek the deep clarity that only comes from stillness. So how do you weaponize this quiet power in a world addicted to noise? You do it with surgical precision and deliberate intent. Here are 3 tactical moves. Step A. Schedule solitude like a VIP meeting. Do not treat quiet time as something optional. Treat it as a non-negotiable appointment with your own mind. Even 20 minutes of true, uninterrupted solitude is enough to trigger deep and valuable thought. Step B. Mute the noise of your own brain. Your mind will not always cooperate. That is fine. Use meditative journaling or intentional daydreaming to quiet internal chatter. Think of it as tuning a radio until the static fades and the hidden signal becomes clear. Step C. Capture your random, bored thoughts. When you let your brain roam, strange ideas appear, and often they are pure gold. Keep a sticky note list or a small notebook nearby to capture these insights. It is like finding a long-lost treasure in the attic while you were just cleaning up. These steps should feel like they were pulled straight from a rebel brain hacker's secret playbook. Small actions that give you unfair mental advantages. You have now given your brain the dark, quiet room it has been secretly craving. When it comes back into the light, it does so sharper, faster, and with a clarity that catches others off guard. This is not theory. Introverts who have consistently trained themselves in controlled solitude often report breakthrough ideas, deeper creativity, and better problem-solving skills that rival or even outperform their gifted, extroverted peers. Think of it like a submarine on a deep, silent dive. While the surface world is noisy, chaotic, and distracted, the submarine glides through calm depths, mapping the terrain and discovering what others cannot see. Then, when it resurfaces, it does so with precision, power, and unexpected force. That is the power of this so-called banned brain hack. Invisible preparation followed by undeniable results. Now, I can already hear the skepticism brewing. So you are telling me to just sit there? Sounds like lazy brain rot. And yes, to the untrained mind, this might seem like the mental equivalent of watching paint dry. But here's the truth. Genius is almost never found in constant motion. It hides in the shadows, quietly plotting, sipping a metaphorical espresso, and waiting for the right moment to strike. The science is clear. Periods of incubation and deliberate rest are not wasted time. They allow your brain to process information in the background, connect seemingly unrelated concepts, and strengthen resilience under pressure. This is why some of the greatest breakthroughs in history have come not in moments of frantic activity, but during walks, daydreams, or quiet contemplation. Doing nothing is not laziness. It is the hidden engine of high-level thinking. So here is your mission, should you choose to accept it. Tonight, ditch 1 hour of endless scrolling, background noise, and digital distraction. Instead, sit in silence. No music, no notifications, no filler. Let your brain wander into the uncharted woods of its own making. Tomorrow, write down the most unexpected idea or realization that came to you during that time. It might be small, it might be huge, but it will be yours. And it will be something your overstimulated self would never have discovered. You have just unlocked a piece of subversive brain firmware. Use it, because being quiet does not mean being weak. It means you have cornered the market on silent power, and the smartest moves are often the ones made without a sound.